Well, I was just ready with my big segue into the next thing.
Go. What was
and
your
you
one?
just butted in.
No, go for it.
No, I completely forgot. It's gone now. Gone. Time for nutrition.
No memory retention. Not
Lea
enough fat in your
Stenning's
diet.
here.
You need more better nutrition, obviously.
It's not enough fat in your diet, is it?
Oh, it'd be
For the
something.
Retention in the brain?
Absolutely. We'll find out.
Oh, don't psychoanalyze me.
G'day.
Yes. How are you?
Good. Nice weekend.
Yeah.
God,
Good.
that's fast.
Was yours good?
Fantastic. Yep.
Yeah.
Really did a bit of golf. Bit of sun.
Oh,
Yes.
golf.
Cold wind though, eh? Cold
That
Golf.
wind was hideous yesterday.
was too. Yeah, really bitter.
Ridiculous whoever invented that.
Never mind. Lots
Now,
of
speaking
daffodils.
of golf
Mhm.
and sports,
Yes.
we're going to do sports nutrition today.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Oh,
A little
so-
bit more of that.
Okay.
And you've got other stuff you want to talk about as well.
Mhm.
We didn't get into, we got into sports nutrition last week,
Yes.
but I have a few more questions.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And wonder if I could throw those at you.
Sure. So shall we kick off reminding everyone what sports nutrition is, just quickly to
Go
say
on.
For it.
you've got baseline nutrition is what you eat every day. That's what all of us need. And then you've got the training food, and then you've got the competition. So it's about learning how to gear up according to whatever you're doing.
So there's a
Sure.
difference between training and competition.
Yes, there is. And also there's a difference between types of sport. So every code of sport has different needs depending on what they're trying to achieve. Obviously, somebody like a bodybuilder or somebody involved in contact sports like rugby needs quite different things to what an endurance athlete would need, or a ballet dancer or a rower.
Yeah.
So the aim is gearing up.
How many of the sports in New Zealand are organised enough at this point that we're starting to talk to our 14, 15, 16-year-olds and saying, hey, this is your diet because you're going to go on to hopefully be a pro athlete? Or are we not like that yet?
Not yet, but that's the area I'm working in. We have got a lovely thing called, we've got performance nutrition at the very top, where our main athletes are, our national athletes who go off to the Olympics. Then we've got a pathway to podium area, which is for developing athletes, but there's only about 40 people or so attached to that who are the young guns. But then you've got all the school kids, and they're the area that I'm working on.
Oh,
That's,
pick me,
Yeah.
pick me again. So
Happy to.
if you've got parents out there or students that are thinking, hey, I'm taking my sport really, really seriously, I'm 14, 12, 16, whatever,
Yeah.
what should they do? Should they wait for their sport to tap them on the shoulder, or should they talk to...
oh, come and talk to me. I'm very happy
Yeah.
to do that. But I think also I can go out to schools and do that. I go out and help teachers who are wanting to work with different squads of children. But the main thing is to understand that when you look at sports nutrition, you've got different phases. So everybody, no matter what stage they're at and game they're playing, they still have these different phases. It's called periodised nutrition. So you're saying pre-event, this is what you should eat. During event, this is what you need. And afterwards for recovery, so that you can get up and do your thing again the next day,
Yeah.
you need to have that post-recovery.
And what would
Right.
be signs for those athletes that they're not eating the right things
Good question. It's when they run out of energy, they get tired, they start breaking down.
during the
getting,
event?
Well, it can happen during the event. They don't get the performance they expect, but also they can get sick. So you start noticing kids getting the flu more. That's the biggest thing that athletes say, is they get, hate it when they have the flu, because particularly rowers and people like that have to get up in the cold on mornings. Swimmers, if they're tired and they're not being able
run
to,
down.
they run down. They're not getting better. I've seen this with swimmers who are really low on iron and keep training and never beating their best scores. That's when they need help.
Yeah.
And also an impact on their performance at school, and when you get that happening, you've got nutritional issues.
Sure. Okay, I have a question because
Yeah.
I play a lot of winter sport,
Yeah.
hockey and
Good.
sometimes touch and
Busy girl.
swimming,
And running.
running, mountain biking, a bit of everything.
Good.
But I noticed that a lot of people are quite dependent on things like a Powerade
Yeah.
or like an energy gel
Yeah.
or, lots of protein bars, that kind of thing. And it's more the energy that they seem to just go nuts on before or during
Yeah.
exercise.
Yeah.
Is that really that good? Because I just noticed how much sugar and all that is in those drinks and things.
But you see, once again, you need extra energy. So how it works out is this. You have to work out what you have depending on when you are eating versus when you're exercising. So for instance, if you get up first thing in the morning and you got out of bed before you had anything to do and you went out for a run, you need high GI food. So something like a banana. High GI refers to how quickly carbohydrates release their glucose into your system. So the foods that have a high GI number, they release the energy quicker than something that does it more
Like
slowly.
lollies.
Lollies, bananas, a higher in GI, things like a toast with honey on, things like that. So if you got up, had a banana, went for a run, came back, then had your breakfast, that would be a good way to do it. Or if you had 2 hours before, say you were going to perform at 8 and you're getting up you're performing at 10 and you're getting up at 8 o'clock, then you've got 2 hours spanning the time between getting up and going. You need to have a breakfast that's got protein in it and that's got low GI, so it's releasing energy more slowly. So they're the type of things that we take into account. the speed at which energy is released, and also your recovery, because you need to have protein in there as well for recovery, but that's more at the end rather than the beginning or the during.
Okay, so my standard, like if I'm going to go for a run in about an
Yeah.
hour, will be toast and it's multigrain, peanut butter, banana. Is that good?
Are you talking about in an hour from now?
Like an hour from now, I'm about to go for a run.
Okay.
That would be what I'd be eating.
Yeah, we could do that. I'd tend to go back and say, what did you have for lunch? See, it's once again
Right.
going back to baseline, making sure that you've got good breakfast and lunch and dinner, and then putting in those other things to augment that. So for you, what you're saying is good. I would suggest probably having a milkshake or something like that in the afternoon, because I think everyone should be getting their milk in the afternoon. And then by all means have that snack you're suggesting. But it's when you finish what you've been doing that you need to recover well. So there's a gap between when you run and when you get home and have dinner. That's the important time. If you're going to be taking ages, like up to, they say there's a window of half an hour to 2 hours after you finish exercising in which to recover from.
Right. So if you don't eat within that time.
Yeah, you're not as good the next day, and it can really
Well,
slow
that's
you
what
down.
bodybuilders say, that they have something within an hour of finishing training. That they have a lot will eat a banana coming out of the gym,
great.
Yeah.
have their
Water.
protein shakes, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the other thing that's really important is hydration. It's hugely important because what fluids do is they circulate all the energy around your body, taking glucose or energy to your brain and also to your muscles. So if you don't get that circulation of energy, you just can't think straight and you can't actually have the power to go and do. And so that's really important. And also fluids take all the toxins out of your system as well, and they regulate temperature. So getting your hydration is really important. And so water's the key thing, first of all. Whether you bring in the sports drinks depends on how long you're going for. So for the first hour of exercise, all you need is really water. For the hour and a half. And then after that period of time is when you might need a sports drink.
Yeah.
And the gels are just like a sports drink. They're high GI. So the sort of things you might have during a long event. They might be it's something that if you're an athlete going on an endurance race or you're a cyclist, for instance, you might put those in at the end for recovery. But they're very concentrated. Like, one gel is equivalent to about 2.5 slices of bread.
Really?
So 2 joules is equivalent to 5 slices of bread.
Yeah.
So if you think of it like that, it's
Wow.
easier to understand how much you're taking aboard.
Okay, so you're talking about hydration, and there's like a recommended kind of how many glasses of water you're supposed to drink a day. How does that change if you're exercising and perhaps sweating a lot?
Perfect. Good question. There is this talk about needing 8 to 10, but that's ridiculous depending on a person who's different shape and size. If you're very tiny, you don't need that much. But equally, you can overdo it. If you have too much, you can wash away a lot of nutrition, and that's called hypernatremia, so that's not very good either. So how much you need depends on your height and weight. It depends on things like growth rate. The best way to find out exactly how much you're losing is through sweat losses. And sweat loss testing can simply involve, if you decide you're going to go out for a run, weigh yourself before you go, and then weigh yourself when you come home, taking into account that you don't pee in between and that you allow for the fluids that you've been drinking. So the difference between the beginning and the end is what you replace. So
So if you've
Right.
lost 200 grams, it's 200 mils.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kilo to a litre. So that's how it works.
All right.
So my challenge to everyone this week is get out there and look at your fluids. No matter what you're doing, whether you're involved in heavy working activities or just everybody should look at their fluids.
Okay.
So the best thing is to record how many drinks you have in a day and note the time of day that you're drinking. And try to drink a little bit more. Make sure you're getting lots of water and also milk.
Yeah.
If you can get at least 2 to 3 cups of low-fat milk into your body every day, you're helping to repair and provide the protein to repair your
So
body.
you say low-fat milk. What's wrong with normal blue or even silver top milk?
Yeah, it's higher in fat, so it's actually not going to help speed your recovery. It's as much as low-fat milks have got extra protein and calcium in them, so they help to repair you better.
Yeah, because
Okay.
low-fat milk has higher calcium and protein.
It does, and it actually speeds weight loss. So if you need
Yeah.
to control body weight, you're going to do it better on a low-fat milk, particularly one enriched with calcium than a whole cream milk.
Sure. Okay, well, thanks so much, Lee.
Pleasure.
And any questions, people can send it to our Facebook page, the Daily Fix NZ, and we'll put them to Lee next week. We've got a nice wee